The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Another day on the field for Justin Fields and the New York Jets. What were the biggest takeaways from today's minicamp practice? We will ask Antwan Staley from the New York Daily News, who was there. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Wednesday, second show on the day. Richie from Jets Media joined me on the first stream earlier, so check that out if you want more Jets content. Before we bring on the great Antwan Staley from the Daily News, I want to remind people that Friday is the deadline for the AsManiac Group Buy Jets-Panthers, October 19th. First 75 people that lock in their spots will join us on the field with a field pass after the game to take a photo. So if you want to join us, click the link in the description and you can lock in your game ticket. We will have info on our discounted group tailgate in lot E26 once we get everyone locked in that wants to join us in section 129. So Friday's the deadline. We still got field passes available, so go fast if you want to secure your spot with us at the AsManiac Group Buy game on October 19th. With that said, let's say hello to a man who was at Jets minicamp. He's a friend of the show, an excellent reporter. You can read his work in the New York Daily News. Jets beat reporter and columnist Antwan Staley joins us now. Antwan, always good to get you on, my friend. How was minicamp?
It's been good. It's been good learning a lot. Seeing Justin Fields there, just kind of day to day. So yeah, he's obviously the one that everybody wants to talk about. Everybody wants to know how he's doing and how he's performing.
I know he spoke to you guys as well after the practice. Let's start just with your impressions hearing him speak. Quite the difference in attention and headline grabbing stuff you're going to get from Fields versus what you dealt with the last two seasons with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Justin Fields is a little bit quieter guy. Doesn't really say a whole lot there. I think he kind of takes on the identity that Aaron Glenn wants to have, where you just walk quietly, have a bit stick, whatever the saying is exactly. But yeah, I know that he's a guy that does. It's kind of being a leader by example type of deal. And I think, they've talked about how he's progressed in that area. Yeah, he's become more vocal on and off the field there. And, I definitely think if you look at the way he's performed there, obviously they're not in pads, so we're not going to know exactly how he's going to do or we'll get a better grasp of then. But, I think he's gotten better over time. So what I've seen where we saw him in OTAs early on and where it was raining, he was kind of, inconsistent as far as his passing is uneven. And, today I think he completed 12 or like 20 or 21 passes somewhere around there. And, threw a touchdown pass to Josh Reynolds, threw another touchdown, another long pass to Garrett Wilson, which was down at the 2-yard line. So I definitely think he's starting to play a little bit better and, wanting to be that quarterback that I think the Jets want him to be, and along with using his legs, that's a weapon too as well.
So Rich Samiti, obviously a respected reporter on the beat, covers the Jets for ESPN. His recap today, he wrote, the full Justin Fields experience was on display. Talk about what you saw specifically from Fields. Everyone seems to be raving about that long throw 50 yards down the field to Garrett Wilson. So break down what you saw in today's minicamp from Justin Fields.
I just thought he was just really confident, and I think you just see that just in his decision making there. Whether it be short passes there. I think early on he was just completing a lot of dink and dump type of passes, but now I think he's getting a better grasp of the offense. You kind of see his confidence growing a little bit there, and you're seeing him throwing more balls down the field too. Obviously, it's going to come, incompletions are going to come with that, but ultimately I think he's doing a much better job just, running the offense and doing what Tanner and Strand wants him to do. And, also using his legs too when it escape and get out of trouble. He did take a few sacks there today, or would have been sacks there. But overall, I think it was one of his best days that I've seen him have throughout the course of camp this spring.
It sounds like Garrett Wilson has been dominating. It seems like they're going out of their way to find ways to get him the football. Have you noticed a difference in how they're utilizing Garrett versus how the previous coaching staff tried to utilize him?
Yeah, because they're getting him the ball. They're just throwing. Garrett may have. He may be top 5 in targets this year. Like I actually said to some of the writers, I was like, I think he's gonna have about 120 catches. Like, because
Wow.
obviously, it's a lot of questions with the Jets wide receiver room there. Not like a lot of answers, at least at the moment. But you have one guy that I think is surefire and can be a bona fide star, and I think that's Garrett. I mean, I think we saw a little bit of that last year, even with Aaron, before Devontae came. I mean, if you remember the game in London, I think Garrett had like 23 targets in that game or something to that effect there. But, I think they're going to give him the ball early and often there. I think Glenn and Estran had talked about that extensively. And, you're seeing that throughout the course of camp. And, that rapport that Fields and Wilson had at Ohio State, you definitely can see that translate on the field there. It's like they picked back up where they left off back in Columbus.
I know Garrett had, that long catch. He's been dominating in these practices that you guys have been allowed to attend. Josh Reynolds, I saw today, he caught a touchdown pass, Antwan.
Yes.
Should the Jet fan feel better or worse about the wide receiver room based on what you have seen throughout the spring?
I think it remains to be seen who the second option is going to be outside of Garrett there. I mean, as far as the receiver room, I will say this, though. As far as the tight ends, I think Mason Taylor is going to be really good. I think he could be the guy that can be second in receptions on that team.
Right
there.
away
He's
as a
gonna-
rookie, you think that?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I think, a lot of times when you're a rookie tight end, like you really don't have a lot of blocking skills, or it's a bit of a transition there. And I think it might be, but, he's a, his father played in the league. Obviously, his uncle played in the league. I mean, he's been around football his entire life. And, you look at what he did at LSU. He was a really good blocker there. I mean, he didn't get a lot of, as far as pass catching. And I think he probably would have got in other places because LSU had so many dynamic wide receivers where you talk about Brian Thomas Jr., also elite neighbors. But, I think, Taylor is really dynamic as a, route runner there. It's really smooth there. He can really block. He can do it all. Like, that's why I thought he could have been a, late first round pick, and for the Jets to get him where they did in the second round. I think he has the potential to be, do a lot. They do a lot for that offense this upcoming year. I really do. I'm really confident he can.
We know Fields in his career has targeted the tight end a lot. In fact, the stat I reference on the show, among quarterbacks with at least 20 starts over the last few years, he's third in QBR when targeting the tight end. So if Mason Taylor could step up as a rookie right away, I think that'd be huge. Do you have any confidence, or do you still have any faith in Jeremy Ruckert possibly having a role on this team? I know Glenn has talked about him when he's been asked and has said some good things. Your thoughts on Ruckert and just the other tight ends in that room with Mason Taylor?
Yeah, he's been producing there. He's been making some plays throughout the course of training camp too, as well. I mean, this is probably as best I've seen him play from a practice perspective since we both got there the same year in 22. I started covering him, and then he got drafted there. So yeah, this is the best I think he's looked. He looks very confident there. Obviously, he has rapport with Fields too. They were college teammates as well, and I definitely think they're going to use that two tight end set too. One, for blocking purposes too, because I feel like they're going to lean a lot on the running game and Brees Hall and Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis too as well. And two, give Fields some more options out there on the field too. So why not put, a guy that he has that, chemistry with, dating back to Ohio State, along with Mason Taylor, along with Garrett Wilson too. And then you add in a Josh Reynolds and, see what Alan Lazar and some of the other receivers can bring to you. So yeah, I definitely think, I'm not saying he's going to, Rutgers going to have like 70 catches or anything like that. But, I definitely can see a world where, he can help contribute and maybe get you 35 to 40 catches this upcoming year. I think Taylor, if I had to predict maybe like 50 catches, what I think is for a rookie, I think that's, pretty good. I think that's a good start to your career. If you can get that dynamic with both of those guys, I definitely think that'll take pressure off Garrett too and some of the other wide receivers.
We're talking with Antwan Staley, covers the New York Jets for the New York Daily News. We have a question for Antwan throughout the conversation here about a certain player, about what has stood out. Certainly super chatted in, and we will pull it up on the screen. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for daily Jets talk and hit that like button, that thumbs up button right down below if you haven't done so already. We spent a lot of time talking about some offensive players. what has stood out, not even just today, but in general and all the times you've been out at One Jets Drive so far under Aaron Glenn? What has stood out about the defense? It seems like there's been a lot of plays being made by Will McDonald. That's at least what I was reading today.
Yeah, I mean, Wilman's been real tremendous, I think, throughout the course of OTAs and minicamp too. I mean, he's added 15 pounds according to the coaches there, so which will put him over probably the 250 mark at this point. I think he was like 236 at least listed last year. So, they want him to add on some weight, to help contribute to the run game. They feel like his run defense wasn't necessarily up to par, but that would make sense because he's a slender guy, or he was a slender guy, and now he's added that beef as well. And you get Jermaine Johnson back. He's still trying to work his way back, from the Achilles injury there. They like what he's bringing. One guy that I think has stood out throughout the course of camp, just kind of underrated under the radar, is Rashad Weaver. I think Rashad Weaver has been, really been making some plays there. Somebody that's been around the block, spent the block around the block a little bit, and he's made some plays throughout the course of camp too as well. So you add him with Quentin Williams, and in addition, Will McDonald, and then of course you're going to get Jermaine back. I think the D line is in a solid spot there. Still some questions there, about the run defense there. I still have questions about that. That's been a sore spot for discussion among Jets fans the last 3 years. But, I think the defense, at least the defensive line, has stood out. Quincy and Jamie Sherwood. Sherwood also had a sack today too as well. Those guys have been playing well. Sauce has made some plays too. Not necessarily hasn't had an interception yet in camp, at least that I've seen anyway. But he's always around the ball. Has been shadowing Garrett and some of the other receivers too. So, and they want him. They believe he's gonna bring in more interceptions this year. They feel like he's been working on that. He's been working in the Jugs machine there, trying to take that next step where he can finish instead of just batting balls down.
What have you seen specifically from AZ Thomas? I read today that he had another interception. It was off Tyrod Taylor. It seems like every practice you guys are allowed to attend, he's making a play or two. Is he someone that's going to maybe challenge Brandon Stevens for playing time?
Yeah. Yeah. I think when he was drafted, I was like, what are they doing? Like, I don't think this makes sense because you gave that money to Brandon Stevens. Obviously, you got Michael Carter II, who you gave an extension to a year ago. Obviously, that was a different regime, but nevertheless, he's under contract. So ain't nothing you can really do about it. But, they like Thomas. They like his length. They like his, just what he brings to the table as far as tackle skills there. He's been always around the football, at least for what I can see. And yeah, he's been making some plays too. So yeah, I definitely think he's somebody that I'm really intrigued by more. Also out of Alabama, also another guy that I think somebody that's really stood out too in the course of camp too, fielded an interception last week, I believe. So yeah, he's those two guys are the rookies that really stood out as well. So they have a good problem to have, where they have some depth there in the secondary too. Something that again, bit of a question there, especially at their safety spot last year too as well. But yeah, I think both of those guys have done a really good job, at least considering they've been in the program for a little bit over a month now.
You've mentioned both the linebackers, Quincy and Sherwood. One of my big gripes with the previous coaching staff on defense was at times it felt like they were very stubborn. Hey, this is the wide nine. This is how we do it. They wouldn't blitz as much as I think they should, given the opponent. Week 1, for example, I want to blitz Aaron Rodgers over and over again with brand new receivers, new offense, and dare him to beat us. Are we going to see a more aggressive defense as a whole? Will we see more Sherwood? You mentioned he had a sack today. Was that on a blitz? Like, are we going to see the Jets utilize Sherwood's elite speed, Quincy's elite speed, and be way more aggressive defensively?
Yeah, I think you're gonna with Steve Wilkes' defense, like I think you're gonna see a lot more aggressiveness there. It's gonna be the system's really a blend of what Steve Wilkes likes to do and what Aaron Glenn likes to do. Yeah, Aaron Glenn, if you look at his track record there with the Lions, like he likes to play a lot of man, whereas I think Steve Wilkes likes to do a lot of zone, like blitzing and things of that nature too, a lot more aggressive there. So I think you're gonna see I don't know if you're gonna see a total, aggressive defense, but I think it's gonna be a combination of both what they like to do. So yeah, I think it's going to depend on their opponent. So if you got an older quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and some questions there with the offensive line with the Steelers, hell, like blitz him, show you can beat me. And if he beats you, then if he getting the ball out pretty quickly, then you can adjust like during the game too. So yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more aggressive defense there as opposed to the previous regime where they just relied on their front four. And sometimes it was good, but also other times where not so good there, especially when you're relying on people holding out a training camp for X amount of months or whatever the case may be, and coming in out of shape. So that certainly doesn't help the cause it either at all.
Your thoughts just on what has stood out overall going from Salah to Glenn? What have you noticed? I know it's still early, of course, pads aren't on, but what has been the biggest maybe change or just things that have really stood out from where the Jets were last year to where they are now with Glenn calling all the shots?
It's a lot more teaching. Like I think it's a like I've covered college football for a few years too. It reminds me of that where you see a lot more communication there, a lot more just telling players where to go, and this is the time to do it because come training camp, like you want the players to know where they're supposed to be in the spots. Not just reacting instead of thinking. So I think there's a lot more teaching there. I think Glenn has also been a guy that's he goes around like every single individual or team drill there. He'll look and make sure everybody's on the same page. I think when you look at Solid, especially the last couple years, he was just kind of focused on the offense. He kind of let just Jeff Albert just do his thing defensively, and I understand that too. He had confidence in Albert, but I felt like it was just, he was just really, hyper focused on, what the offense was supposed to do. Where Glenn, like he's been all over the place. He'll be at the offensive line, seeing what they're doing, supposed to be doing drill wise, defensive line, cornerbacks, wide receivers, everybody. So he has his hand in there, all different types of jars there. He's essentially the CEO, which you want a coach to be, the CEO of an organization. And I think that's exactly what Glenn is doing on and off the field. So I think that's the biggest difference for me.
How involved with the offense do you think Glenn's going to be? Obviously, he's a defensive guy, but he says he's going to coach the whole team. He takes Engstrand with him from Detroit. What type of offense are you picturing the Jets having, and how involved is Aaron Glenn going to be in that game plan offensively?
Oh yeah, we've asked about this. Like he's gonna be involved definitely. I mean, this Ed Strand's show, like he's gonna, command, call the plays and things of that nature too. But Glenn's gonna be heavily involved in those game plans too as well. But the answer, I think they're gonna run the ball a lot. I mean, you got really three good running backs that they really adore. And Braylon Allen, obviously Brees and Isaiah Davis there. And if you have questions with your wide receiver core outside of Garrett, that is the way to help that and to help your quarterback is to run the ball, and also that includes Justin Fields, who he's one of three quarterbacks ever in NFL history to run over 1,000 yards in the season. So I don't expect him to run over 1,000 in 25, but I think they are going to utilize his legs, and that's going to open up opportunities for Brees and also Braylon and Isaiah, and also in the passing game too as well. But I think they're going to lean a lot. It's going to be a lot what you've seen out of Detroit too, where they use Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery too as well. I definitely think they're gonna use all those running backs and to their advantage, and they should, especially when you have so many questions there. And I feel like their offensive line is so much better now, where you got Mimbu there, who is a genetic freak, and then you got Olu Fashanu, who's somebody that I feel like really came on and stepped up really well after Thomas Smith got hurt last year against the Cardinals and did a really good job. So I think their offensive, this is probably the best, at least on paper, the best offensive line they've had in some years. So why not use that to your advantage and run the football as much as you can and throw it when you have to.
You got a question for Antwan? Write it in. How about our first super chat of the show from Connor Longer? Says Antwan and Jake, after the last day of school, what more can I ask for? That's right. School's out for young Connor Long. Connor spending his allowance money on that super chat. Appreciate you, Connor. Congrats on.
Yeah, good luck on you for the summer, Connor. Like I'm sure I'll talk to him soon, but yeah,
Yep.
like
He's filled in for me, and he brings on Jeremy Fowler, who had the story that the Jets at least made some initial contract offers to Sauce and Garrett, he believes. So shout out to you, Connor. Off to high school he goes. This comment here, or this question, I should say, is from JD. It's a good one. He wants to know, Antwan, are the sacks that you saw today on Justin Fields or the offensive line, or a combination of both?
combination of both. I think it's I think Membo got beat, or he ended up having a holding penalty. I forgot who beat Fields with some of the sets there. I mean, got to Fields, but it's been a combination of both, really. Like I think Fields has held the ball too long at times too. He is getting better at that. That's part of that confidence that I talked about, where you can see him just demonstrating that a little bit more throughout the course of the last few weeks there. But yeah, I mean, that's been a big question for him his entire career, just holding the ball too long. And it's gonna take some time. And I think they're trying to work with him on that. Part of that, in addition to that, is using the GoPro camera, which I also detailed in the article that I had, out. I just put it out, prior to coming on. But yeah, they use that just to kind of see how long he's holding on to the ball, what he's calling in the huddle, also just what he sees. Like they want to see exactly what Justin Fields sees out there on a snap to snap basis. And, seeing that, going back in the film room and seeing that, Justin seeing that, Estran seeing that, Aaron Glenn seeing that, I think that can only help, everybody involved.
Dominic wants your thoughts on how Andre Cisco, the safety of the Jets, signed to a 1-year deal from the Jaguars. How has he looked?
I mean, he's been fine. I mean, I really didn't notice him the last couple of days, but he has made some plays throughout the course of OTAs. So, yeah, I mean, well, I think the safety position is at a better spot than what it was a year ago. You got a guy like a Cisco that has experience there. You also bring back Tony Adams, who had some moments there, but also struggled at times too. But not necessarily a bad depth piece to have as well. In addition, to Cisco, so yeah, I definitely think, and also Isaiah Oliver, who I think is a Swiss Army knife, who can play safety, who can play corner, he can play a lot of different roles for you, especially when injuries come about. So I actually think their safety room and defensive back room in general is in a better place than what it was even a year ago.
I think this defense is going to be pretty good. Am I crazy for feeling that
No,
way? Like,
I'm not worried about that. Like, I
yeah,
think they have 8 starters returning, so I think their defense is going to be better. I think after Salah got fired last year, it kind of went. They finished third in the league in yards allowed, but that's kind of a mirage.
yeah.
Like,
Watch the games.
like
Brutal. They were terrible. I mean, anytime they
well,
needed a big stop, they couldn't do it.
Well, I also detailed this too. Like they were like 28th in yards allowed after that, for the last 12 weeks too, and like 25th in points per game. So it was all a mirage. Like all of that, good equity was early on in the season where they had their defense was playing so well, and then they made the move and it just went down in the dumps. So yeah, I think their defense is going to be much like kind of what you saw probably in 22 and 23 as opposed to what you saw last year.
How about this from Dave Briga? He's worried about the Jets stopping the run. If there is a concern,
I am too.
it is that they didn't draft the defensive tackle. So I kind of a two-part question. One, is the run concerns legitimate based on what you're seeing? And then two, who's the defensive tackle that you're most confident in that's going to line up next to Quentin Williams in the base package?
As far as as far as the run defense, like we won't necessarily know until they put the pass on. So until we see them put the pass on offense and defense, like we won't know exactly how they do. So that's still gonna be a question. I think I was shocked that they did not draft a defensive tackle, to be quite honest with you, because that was a big spot to be. I was like, they got to take a D tackle. Some people thought they would take a D tackle early. People talked about, Kenneth Grant or, somebody of that nature too. But in terms of like who's going to line up next to Quentin, it's going to be a competition. Namdi, like who came over for the Chiefs there, he's definitely somebody that they really like to, has some veteran leadership there, has started games there. Didn't necessarily start a lot of games for the Chiefs a year ago, but somebody that does have that starting experience there. If I had to bet, it would probably be him, but I think it's going to be a rotational, spot, at least early on until somebody just proves that they deserve that job full time.
It's just amazing to me in the most stacked defensive tackle draft, they didn't tap into that. And is that because they truly like the guys you think they already have on the team? Is there maybe a guy like Leonard Taylor they're higher on than we realize that you could see taking the next step? Like, have you done any reporting and gotten more insight on why ultimately they chose to not address that position at all in the draft?
They're not telling us anything, but not in terms of that. But if I had to guess, like I think they like the players that was on the board. Like I think for their perspective, just what I understand, like they were talking about taking the best available player, and I can't be mad at that. Like if you're not confident in the defensive tackles that are on the board or at that spot, then don't take them. Like you shouldn't have to force a pick. But if you fall in love with Thomas, who you don't necessarily need a cornerback, but you love the player, then that's fine. Like I think the best teams in the league have done that for years. So if you look at like the team like the Baltimore Ravens, where they may have a Joe Flacco there at the starting quarterback position, but they still take a Lamar Jackson at 32, or a Marlon Humphreys, or whoever you want to talk about. As far as Ravens, like they take the player and they think about, how they're going to use them later on and figure out, how to, place them in the offense and defense. And, I think the best teams in the league, like the Steelers, like the Ravens, do that. And, I can't be totally mad at that, but it still was surprising that they didn't address that, throughout the whole, 3 days of the draft.
Charles Gorman wants your thoughts on Membu. You mentioned that he's just a physical freak when you've watched him. How has he looked? Is he getting more comfortable every time you've seen him out there?
Yeah, I mean he's been fine. Again, like when you don't have pads on, like it's gonna be hard to, get a good grasp of like how those guys are gonna play. But he's been in the right spot there. He did commit a holding penalty today. That's good. Those are gonna
Is he
happen.
the
You rather
starter though? Like he's getting all the reps with the ones. Basically, it's his job.
I'm not surprised.
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
sworn to
sorry.
secrecy.
You're not allowed to say. I know. I forgot the
Yeah,
mute
I'm
rules.
sworn to
Yep.
secrecy on that. But what I will say is, I think you're gonna see a lot of him. I'll put it
Okay.
that way.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to cover the Texans day in day out when I was in Houston, and it's like, oh, you have certain rules. You can't say who's with the ones and twos. Wink, wink. But it's like, okay,
Yeah,
so
they're being more anal about that this year as opposed to years past. So yeah, it kind of sucks for that perspective. But yeah, he's gonna play. He's gonna play. Put it that way.
hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Why don't we do this? Let's do something fun for all the diehard Jet fans who are tuning in June for mini camp analysis. How about at the end of the show, I will give away a signed Don Maynard frame photo.
Oh, that's
That's the
sweet.
photo on the screen. You ready for this, Antwan? I have the whole thing right here. All right. It's big. It is perfect for someone's man cave, someone's office. So if you want
I ain't even a
this,
Jets fan. I would take that right now. Like
let's
that's
go.
a sweet photo.
One of the all-time great NFL receivers, Jet Hall of Famer, Pro Football Hall of Famer. Gift away for your chance to win this signed and framed Don Maynard photo. I'll do a daily raffle at the end of the show. And if you enter the Don Maynard photo raffle, you got a chance to win the full-sized Broadway
Sweet.
Joe helmet that we'll give that away on Friday. Clyde Frazier jersey. We know, Antwan, you love the Knicks. Side Kevin Mawai jersey and a side
Okay.
Bart Scott jersey. Those are the weekly prizes. So if you gift to try and win this, you're in for all the other prizes as well. PVM in the house. He says, add me, baby. Need that photo in my life. Mike, we got you down for 5. And then this super chat's great from U Stadium. I'll fill you in, Antwan, on the context here. So U Stadium writes in, hey, AsManiacs, we'd like to formally apologize for the recent Frankie transgressions. It does not reflect us Jet fans at U Stadium. Signed both Garrett and Sauce. I got into a heated debate with Frankie V from U Stadium. He didn't
Oh
want the
God.
Jets to extend Sauce Gardner. He tried to use character concerns as a reason why, and I go, there's
What?
not a single person.
What character concerns he talking about?
Thank you. You're there every day. I think you guys voted Sauce Gardner the Media Good Guy Award because he was always
Yeah.
accountable and spoke with you. Can you talk more about Sauce and Garrett and whether or not it'd be the smart decision for the Jets to invest in them long term?
It's a no brainer. Like yeah, you do it. Yeah, you do it because you don't get rid of good players, especially guys that one have made 2 All Pro teams out of 3 years and one of the top 5, top 3, I would say top 3 corner in the league. Why would you not extend that guy? Matter of fact, you need to extend him sooner rather than later because it's only going to get more expensive
Right.
the longer you wait. I think Sauces is easy. Like I think Garrett is a little bit more. It's more complicated because you're trying to predict what you want him to be in the future, not what he's produced, right away. And I think money could get involved in that. But no, you sign both of those guys. Like I don't even think it's a question. As far as character issues, I mean Twitter because he's tweeting. Like I don't like. What is he? He's tweeting. He tweeted about a bear in his backyard the other day. Like what kind of character issues did he talk? Like I love Frankie. Like he's cool. Like good people. But I don't understand these character issues he's talking about. If Sauce tweeting about a bear is character issues, then sign me up. Give me like 53 of those guys. Like, let's go. Like, and especially if they're as good as what he is. So it's a no-brainer. You keep those guys around. The Jets don't have enough of those guys around. Although I do think the Jets have a really good locker room. I don't think I've said that no matter due to losing and everything the last few years, like they've always had outside of a few character guys like. I think you kind of know who those guys are, probably like the handful of them. It's a good locker room. Like there was no character issues whatsoever.
To me, it comes from the fact that Frankie doesn't like Sauce playing golf, or he's not an Ice Spice fan. I mean, that's really it. Because like, there's nothing you could say about Sauce that he's a bad guy. This guy doesn't drink or smoke. He golfs and plays video games. So I think that's crazy. Now, look, I'd be the first to tell you, last year he was not nearly as good as he was his first 2 years, but the bar was set incredibly high. He was a first-team All-Pro at his position back-to-back years. No one's ever done that when entering the league at corner. Do you expect us to see that version of Sauce now with Aaron Glenn as the head coach?
Yeah, because I think he's gonna demand that excellence. Whereas I feel like, especially after Solid left, like I don't think it was anybody there to really hold him as accountable, like the way that he should be. Where you got Aaron Glenn, like they're setting the tone, and Steve Wilkes. Like those
Yeah.
guys are really setting the tone, like, hard for him, and they feel like he can take his game up to an even higher level, and that's bringing down interceptions. That's the next part of his game. Like he's good. Like he even last year. I mean, if last year was a struggle, I think most cornerbacks would take that all day long. But it's just the fact about bringing in now interceptions there. As far as him playing go, you want this guy to be a hermit? Like you don't want him to do anything? Like I understand the optics and things of that nature too, but everybody has hobbies and things that they do outside of their job. I mean, he shouldn't be any different just because he's a football player.
Do you think ultimately they get deals done before training camp?
Before training camp, I think before the season, yes. I
Okay.
don't know before training camp, but before the season, I would say yes.
Both players?
I would say yes, especially if they're already been talking. So yeah, I would say before the season started. Yeah.
I just think it makes too much sense and it sends the right message to the fan base. And look, to be fair to Glenn, he came out previously and said, hey, we're in the business of keeping our good young players. And some question it with Jamie and Sherwood. Oh, they didn't draft him. Aaron Glenn likes bigger linebackers. And I think you and we had this talk when you were asking him
Yeah.
about Sherwood. He's like, he's a really good football player. And like, that was the logic. I mean, Sauce has been great. Garrett at times has been great. Like these guys want to be here. Like if you don't pay them, who do you pay? Like these guys have done everything
Right.
right. You got to keep them long term.
Yeah, I was actually surprised they picked up Jermaine's fifth year option too, considering like, I mean, he's had really one good year. I mean, rookie year, bit of a wash, learning. Then he tore his Achilles last year, so it wasn't a lot, as far as like tape to go on. But they really liked him. Like, and Glenn talks about him dating back to the Senior Bowl, and I think that had a lot to do with why they decided to keep Jermaine because they saw him at the Senior Bowl just terrorize like every single player on the offensive side of the ball, and they're like, yeah, that guy, big, physical, can compete against the run, and he's a pass rusher. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep him at least for another year.
Super chat here from Jets Worldwide. If I win, give the photo to Antwan. Go Jets. Jets Worldwide in the raffle for 2. And if Jets Worldwide wins the raffle, Antwan, I'm going to, I guess, mail this to you or hand it to you in person at
Okay,
training camp this summer.
I'll take it. Like I say, I'll put it up. Like I love sports memorabilia. So like I say again, I'm not a Jets fan, so but I would definitely hang that up. As long as it's not a knit jersey.
That's it.
Long as it's not a knit jersey, we good.
What about a signed Yankee jersey by Derek Jeter?
That's
We know
even
you're big.
worse. I rather have the Knicks. I rather have the Knicks jersey than the Yankee. Anything Yankee? Absolutely not.
Last chance for your question for Antwan to be read on the air. Super chats. We'll cut the line. What I want to know is give us your thoughts on maybe some under the radar players. We've talked about, the main storyline players, but anything else kind of catching your eye when you guys have been out at these practices? There's one more tomorrow and then the Jets are off for summer vacation before training camp, but maybe a player or a couple of players that you think, that impressed me. They're flying under the radar.
I think pitcher, like the guy like from South Alabama, they've been using him as a returner. I think he's been dynamic. He actually caught a touchdown pass today too. So I think they're going to try to use him in a lot of different ways there. Kind of has some Brandon Cottage in him. He's a very short guy, but he's got some explosiveness to him. And Cottage, and I hated the Jets got rid of him because I was like, this guy is a dynamic kick returner and a punt and kick returner. And then of course the Bills pick him up or whatever. They traded for him. But I definitely think he could be in that mode there too as well. Another thing I would keep an eye on is really the kicking situation too as well. Tay Davis there, Carlson there too. Davis ended up missing a field goal today. He's kind of been uneven there. I feel like I don't know if their kick is on the roster right now. Personally, I know they brought in. I know they brought in a couple of guys there as far as tryouts, as far as including Blankenship there for the USFL, who was really dynamic this upcoming year. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on too as we head into training camp.
Malachi Corley, by the way, any idea what he's dealing with? I know Aaron Glenn, he said you can't make the team or when you're in the tub. He quoted Parcells with that one, whatever the exact quote was. But point is, this is a guy that the previous regime was super high on, right? And we barely saw him play last year. Your thoughts on Corley and his role on this team?
Yeah, you can't make the club from the tub. That was the quote right there. Yeah. But I mean, he's I felt I was interested today. Like I think I forgot who asked Strand this, but Corley's been behind the 8 ball, and he's been injured, and all these other guys are getting opportunities there, even the undrafted free agents, and they feel like he has some ground to make up heading to training camp. So he's gonna have to take this time, the next 5 weeks or so, try to make up as much ground as possible, getting ready and learn the playbook and get ready for battle of his life. Because I wrote in my mailbag bag this week. Somebody had asked me, should he get cut? And I was like, yeah, I think it's a chance too. He could get cut. I mean, this regime did not draft him. I mean, he is a cheap option. I mean, I think they would like to keep him, but ultimately he's gonna have to beat out like 6 or 7 other guys just to prove he deserves a spot on the roster. And judging for what happened last year, and not everything the Texans game withstanding, he really didn't show a whole lot of anything. So he has a lot to prove this upcoming season, starting the training camp for sure.
Our final question is from Eli, who yesterday says that he puts cream cheese on his hot dog. So he wants to know, what is your opinion on putting cream cheese on your hot dog?
I can't say I had a thought about mine, but no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll keep it clean. I had a thought. I was absolutely not. Like, no. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I should be the one to talk because I put like odd things, especially for Northerners. Like, I'm a Southerner, so I put chili on my hot dogs. I put coleslaw on my hot dogs and mustard. Like, that's how I roll, and maybe some onions too as well. Like,
That's normal,
we call that a Carolina dog where I'm from.
Yeah, like I have no issue with that. That makes sense. Cream cheese on a hot dog is grotesque.
I ain't never heard of that. Yeah, I ain't never heard of that. Cream cheese, like you gonna be in the bathroom all night. You putting that stuff on it, like, yeah, I'm good.
God. Antwan, you're the man. Always great to get you on the show. Keep up the great work, man. We're lucky to have you on the beat.
All right, thank you, Jake. I appreciate it, man.
Antwan Staley, read his work in the Daily News, does a great job, fair, always objective when covering the Jets. So we appreciate his time on the show. If you're just tuning in, I'm giving away a signed Don Maynard photo at the end of the show, and not just a photo. It's a frame photo. I'm going to send this to you. All right? It's all here. All ready for you to be consumed. And you can hang it up wherever you choose to hang it up. So gift a membership to do it. And I'll tell you what. Why don't we do this? No one's gifted 5 or more memberships. So the first person to gift at least 5 memberships, I'll double it for the raffle. So if you give 5, you're in for 10. You give 10, guess what? You're in for 20. Double whatever you gift. That goes towards the Maynard photo at the end of the stream. And then on Friday's show, I'm giving away Broadway Joe helmet, Frazier signed jersey, Mawai signed jersey, and Bart Scott signed jersey. So gift away if you want in. Patriots 12. He's already won 1 raffle. He's now in again for 1. God, I hope he doesn't win. Jay Lepselter also in our raffle for 1. Thank you, Jay, for gifting a channel membership. I'm going to open up the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline. Before I do that, reminder to join my Patreon if you haven't. Hey, shout out to Dirty, who re-upped his membership for the entire year. He saved 20% by doing that, and he gets 10 raffle entries in our Broadway Joe Namath helmet raffle on Friday. So thank you to Dirty. Patreons, it's just $6 a month. You get bonus shows, your name in the intro, access to exclusive events, 20% off year-round in my merch store, and most importantly, the Discord access where the party never, ever stops. With that said, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, it is open. So let's get to some of your calls right now. And up first today on the Gusbuster Hotline is none other than the great David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
Hello, David.
Hey, what I've been hearing, I haven't called in, but I've been listening to your shows. Aaron Glenn, detail. I'm being more convinced that he is a leader, and as far as detail goes, you look into the previous year's dumb penalties and all that. I mean, that's going to give you 2 more wins during the season.
So you're sold on Glenn already.
Well, I'm not 100%, buddy, but it's getting better all the time. I just we're not going to know until the season starts and all that kind of stuff. But in listening to you and your experts, I really like what I'm hearing. I think he's definitely a leader. And I honestly, he reminds me of the type of person that just can't accept losing.
I get it. I like Aaron Glenn a lot. I'm just trying not to be sucked in just by press conferences, though. That's kind of
Right.
my big thing. But I am
Right.
encouraged by what I have heard and what people who have been there have observed and said what it's been looking like.
Right, Jake, and I'm very gullible, and I get sucked in very easily. But I'm trying to be, yeah, I'm trying to be. What do I want to say? I'm giving him a chance, and it remains to be seen. I even think. I thought the other day, what if we would have got Mike McCarthy? What would this whole OTAs and training camp be like or whatever? But we got Aaron Glenn, and he wanted to be the Jets coach, and it remains to be seen. But I'm feeling better all the time, buddy.
I like it. Well, I'll tell you what, David, if you're feeling good, I'm feeling good.
Thank you, sir.
I got my energy. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, who else but Bo? He sent in 10 memberships. We're doubling that. That's 20 raffle entries for the great Bo C. Give it up for Bo for coming through for the people.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Yeah, baby. If you hear your name called, you thank Bo, Stephen Kinslow, Michael Gordon, Justin Flanagan, Rec King, J. Mart, Just Endure the Suffering, YM the Jets fan, SDA Jets Ghost, Mike Hawk Hertz, all receiving channel memberships. Bo, you're the man, my friend. Bo won the Justin Fields daily raffle on the show the other day. Might have been yesterday. I get my days confused. So that has already been ordered for Bo, and hopefully it arrives as quickly as possible. Uno Jets in the house, gifting a membership, or excuse me, sending in a $10 super chat to get in the raffle for 2. His statement, let's go Jets. Simple. Joshua says the GoPro is the Woody cam so he and his son can micromanage. It's kind of funny that that's your take. I don't believe that's the case. But maybe it was Brick Johnson's idea for the GoPro because it could remind them of what playing Madden is like. We know the Jets like to sometimes use Madden to help with their evaluations. So perhaps that was the plan. Have we thought about that? PBM says another thing that sucks about MetLife, they have the worst hot dogs. Is this true? Let's find out. Mike joins us on the program. Mike, does MetLife have the worst hot dogs?
Terrible. Like, it's not like going to a Met game or a Yankee game where you get a nice full-size hot dog. You get like a mini fucking hot dog
Now,
for $8.
I had a hot dog at the Texans game last year. I remember Gator got it for me when he was online at halftime. I don't remember if it was a mini one though.
It's like a mini, not like a mini, but like a regular Nathan sized.
So you like the
Not-
jumbo size. You're a jumbo guy. You like a jumbo wiener?
Yeah. You
Got it.
gotta have the fucking jumbo. You gotta have the ballpark, the thick one, the big one.
No, look, I like a thick jumbo wiener too.
Yeah, you gotta have that one. You can't.
Yeah.
If I'm going to a game, I want to have the right hot dog. I can't have the MetLife shitty one that I can buy a pack of 12 for $8 at Stop and Shop, which is what they get there at MetLife.
What type of hot dog is it? Do you remember? Is it Hebrew National? Is it Nathan's?
I don't know what it is. It might be Nathan's. I don't know.
Can anyone else confirm PBM's reporting here on the MetLife
I
hot
just
dog?
had it at the weekend concert.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. How do we know it's the same hot dog for the weekend as it is for a Jet home
It's the
game?
same vendor.
We don't know.
If you go to City, yeah, it is. If you go to City Field and watch a concert, or you go to City Field and watch a Mets game, it's the same vendor.
I'll be at
Same
City
stuff.
Field tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there though.
Sad.
You should go to the live show. Why aren't you going to a live show?
Because the live show starts at 6 in the morning, and I live in Manhattan.
So what? People are coming from Jersey.
Okay, well, I'll see those same people at City Field when I get done with my show with Matt O'Leary tomorrow.
Yo, you should do a segment with DNR.
If they invite me, I would do it, but they didn't invite me.
They shouted you out today. Did you
I
hear?
know, because I was texting with Dave, but I'm not going to Long Island. I'll just go to Queens. A lot easier.
I'm telling Rick tomorrow that he needs to have you on the show on
Tell him
DNR.
that I should be filling in when Dave's off, because I've done a show with Dave. I've never done a show with Rick.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him that too, and I'm gonna tell him that he needs you to be on the show, talking Jets or whatever. I need you to be a regular.
No, you're preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, I'm gonna work some magic.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike. I'm sad we're not going to cross paths tomorrow, but I'm glad we could bond over our mutual love of large wieners.
Yep, and Rick.
And Rick DiPietro.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Purple Belt Mike giving us the latest on the MetLife hot dogs. For those tuning in late, God, could you take what we were saying out of context? But this audience would never do such a thing, would they? Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Don Maynard signed photo, giving this away at the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about our next caller. He has not called this show in what feels like months. In fact, Boomtown, who's our resident Asmaniac historian, might be able to confirm when the last time this guy actually called in. But right now it's time to hop on the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Hi, Jake.
Hey, Lane.
How are you?
I'm good, Lane. How are you?
How do you feel about Membu?
I've heard he looks pretty good. I like the pick. I'm excited.
How do you feel about the Jets camp?
Sounds
You
like
think they could do good?
I think they are doing good, from what I understand.
Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers. I cannot believe it. Yeah, he's a Steeler now.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, see, this is what I believe. I believe that they should have kept him as a Jet, but he was getting old.
So do you think he's going to do well with the Steelers?
Yeah. Let's see who else. So yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the Giants picks that they got and going into training camp?
I think their schedule is really hard, so I don't have high hopes for them.
Are you okay today though? But the weather, like, the weather's been warm.
It's been pretty hot outside. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you?
It's going well. I did a lot of work today. It's going well.
Are you still at Trader Joe's?
Yeah. They have good chips there. You should try the unsalted chips.
Next time I'm there, I'm going to call you. You got to give me a recommendation on which ones to get, all right?
They have these unsalted, they're like the corn chips.
That sounds fantastic.
I can't have too much salt. Yeah.
How's your mom doing? Is she feeling better? I know she was in the hospital for a little bit, you said, right?
Yeah, she's better.
Tell her I say hello.
Yeah, and what else? Yankees lost against the Red Sox. Yeah, I know. They won. Yeah, but they won against the they won against Kansas City. They won.
Yeah, you see that home run Judge hit? It's still going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. The reason why I haven't been calling in is because I've been talking. I've been mostly calling in Nick's son. And
you call on the Nick and Bobby show. You don't call this show. This show puts you on the map, Lane. Don't forget that. You became the Lane Train because of me, not those guys, all right?
Yeah. I mean, and I'm happy to say that Mikey has a new setup.
He does.
So he does not go off when he's trying to talk.
But unfortunately, Mikey's setup, we can't really hear him. He hasn't figured out the microphone.
Yeah, because when I try to hear it, it goes blink off. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe the way it's set up. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for taking my call.
Lane, call back more often, all right?
Yeah, okay, bye.
All right, Lane, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the great, the Lane Train.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
There it is. One of the greats. That's why that man was the #1 seed. Hey, C Nasty 518. He's like, I want it on the raffle. Let me get that picture. I got you in for 2. All right, more of your calls right now. Before I get to our next call, everyone stop what you're doing and be ready to acknowledge that we live in the greatest country in the United States. That made no sense. That we live in the greatest country in the world. That is the United States of America.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, Jake. Speaking of big hot dogs, have you tried Kirkland hot dogs? They're very good too.
I don't know if I've had a Kirkland. I'm sure I've had. I can't think of it off the top
Well,
of my head.
is there a Costco in Manhattan?
There is. It's on the Upper East Side, but I live nowhere near there, so it's out of the way.
Well, Costco, they give out big wieners, big hot dogs, and they're very long and they're very tasty.
I'll keep that in mind. You sound like a big wiener guy. Am I right, Chuck?
I like burgers too, but I love Costco. I love hot dogs too. Yes.
Well, actually, come to think of it, the last time I was at a Costco, I did try the hot dog there, and it's the biggest hot dog I've ever experienced.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say. I've never tried their food at MetLife Stadium. I've only been there once. But for Purple Belmont to say that their hot dogs are terrible to me is like saying that they're ripping people off. If you're expecting people to eat at MetLife Stadium, which uses like a giant ass air conditioning unit, their food's got to be good.
Well, the thing is, most people don't eat at MetLife, I'd imagine, a ton of the food, unless you're in like a suite or one of the clubs, because you're tailgating. Like I try to make sure I don't have to spend any money at MetLife. I've given the Jets enough money. I don't want to give MetLife any more money than I have to.
Don't blame you there, brother. And it was the reason why I asked about Amar Bamboo, because, obviously the last time the Jets drafted a freakish athlete was that big-time bust, Vernon Golston. He was a freak athlete at Ohio State, and he couldn't do anything in the NFL. But from what I've heard, Amar Bamboo looks good, so hopefully he's the anti-Vernon Golston. I'd like to pick 2. I wanted the Jets to get him because from what I've heard and from what I saw, based on his highlight reel and film, he looked really good to me.
Wait a second. You think Vernon Golston was the last time the Jets drafted a freak athlete?
Well, I remember Peter Schrager talking about that. Well, I think he's a pretty good analyst for the most part.
Sauce Gardner is a freak athlete. There's never been a corner at his height, weight, that has his speed and arm length.
That is very true. I forgot about that, too.
Yeah, there's plenty of examples.
I think Jamie Sherwood's kind of freakish, too, because of his arm length.
Sherwood?
Yeah, he's got long-ass arms.
Well, he was a former safety.
Yeah, but he's converted to linebacker, and he's played very well at linebacker.
He led the NFL. He's a 6th-round pick, though. I'm talking about guys the Jets have selected in the 1st round that have the freak athletic label and have lived up to it.
That's very true, too.
Also, Spanish Harlem is where the Costco is. It's not the Upper East Side. So apparently, it's too far up for Mr. I'm Nate. I live in Manhattan. I bully Charles Gorman. Now I'm going to try and do it to Jake on geography. See, I got your back, Charles. Nate's a bad guy.
Oh, let me think. It's good that Lane Train made a call. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler, and I heard he's doing well in training camp.
Hold on. How about, hey, Jake, thanks for having my back against Big Bad Bully Nate. You're just going to completely ignore that comment?
No, I appreciate you having my back, Jake. Thank you.
Yeah, see? You're not just content to me, Charles. You're my friend.
I'm glad the Jets do. And from what I've heard, I know obviously we gotta wait to believe it, but the fact that Aaron Glenn is showcasing something that that Robert Saleh has in that's leadership. And I've said this when I was preparing for the show that what separates coaches from one another is leadership, and the fact that Aaron Glenn is using his leadership experiences not only during his playing days as a player, but from his days as a coach, an assistant coach, and of course learning from one of the greatest head coaching icons of all time, and Bill Parcells, to me means something to me. Obviously, he has yet to win and lose a regular season game. Obviously, we have to see it in order to believe it. That I agree with 100%. But part of me feels more confident with this regime than I did with the previous 2 regimes. Obviously, with Adam Gase, we were destined to fail because he sucked. At Robert Saleh, we all wanted to get Adam Gase out of our mouths, and he turned out to be just as big of a disaster in some aspects. So hopefully Aaron Glenn is the cure-all for those disastrous regimes.
Couple things for you now, Charles. Jay wants to know, where is your toaster and microwave? Is it still in the closet?
Yes.
Okay. Any intentions to plug it in?
I will soon, yes.
All right. Second item of business to get to. How is the Squatty Potty? What was it like using it yesterday?
I didn't use it yesterday, but it went fine.
Now, have you continued to use it, though, since your parents said they don't like it, despite never having used it?
I've used the lid for a little bit. It was all right.
What do you mean you've used it for a little bit? You got to use it every time. Just don't be on it too long.
Edited wallpapers is pretty talented.
You don't want to fall. You don't want to be on it too long, because when your legs fall asleep on it, that is hell. I'll just speak from experience on that one.
I can understand that.
Yep.
I don't wear Superman PJs.
Okay, thank you for that. Yesterday, it was reported from my sources that you did speak with your job coach, Coach Moskovitz, Coach Mosk, and she set up some sort of tryout for a potential job on June 17th. Can you elaborate more on, one, if that's true, and then two?
Yes, it's true. She's going to call me today. She's going to call me at some point today.
Okay, so Coach Mosk is going to call you today. Do you think us saying that maybe we need to make a coaching change, putting pressure on her?
She was actually planning on calling me yesterday, but I called her before she did.
Okay, so do you think that this tryout, do you have any idea on what it is exactly?
No, but she'll probably explain it to me when she calls me.
Well, this tryout is in 6 days, so we want to make sure that you're prepared for the tryout.
Well, I do have clothing to prepare me for the interview, so that should be good.
Now, are you actually performing whatever the job is? Like, when I hear tryout, I'm thinking like you're going to be out there actually doing
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. That's a very good question. I'll hopefully ask her about that when she calls me. But yeah, can't wait. I want to get back to work. I want to be a hardworking citizen like my father, like my mother, like my brother. My grandfather was a hardworking man too, worked a lot of jobs, sold papers when he was a kid. Used to work for the Boy Scouts. Did a lot of work for the Boy Scouts, my grandfather.
This is music to Dave Brigga's ears.
It's music to my ears too, Jake.
I can't wait. I'm excited. You got to keep us posted, all right? Next Tuesday is a big day. I'm pumped.
I am too.
All right, now I got a super chat here from Eli. He is in the raffle for 2 with this. He says, my question for Charles is, if you were to catch a touchdown in the NFL, what is your celebration and can we see it?
If I were to, what would my celebration be? Maybe the Lambeau Leap.
Can you give us a little demonstration?
Oh, wait, you can't see me because I got to bring in my freaking song. I kicked the touchdown. I celebrated in the fans.
I need you to actually do the jump, though. Like, take the phone, jump onto your couch, and pretend like you're jumping into the stands at Lambeau.
Yeah.
That's your bed.
Well, I'm using them. That's the stands.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be laying down. You'd be sitting up. So you got to jump sitting down. Yeah, I'll even do a play-by-play call, all right? We're going to be the Jets. Is that okay? I know some people are accusing you of being a Patriots fan.
I don't care. Screw them.
All right, here we go. Here's my best Bob Lashusen. Once again, I'm not a play-by-play guy. I leave that to the pros. Fields takes the snap, drops back, looks right, throws it on the run. He's got Charles Gorman, who makes the catch at the 10, 5, touchdown, Jets. That's not a jump. I need more enthusiasm. Come on. I need you to full-on jump. You score a touchdown, and then jump Lambeau Leap, all right? Let's try it again. Here we go. 2nd and 10 at the Jet 8-yard line. Fields out of the gun, takes the snap, looks right, throws right. He's got Charles Gorman on the run. 5, touchdown. It's a Jet touchdown. Charles Gorman, and he does the Lambeau Leap into the crowd. Whoa! I don't know, Charles. I think the chat might want a little more enthusiasm. Your thoughts?
It's all right.
All right.
I love Bob. Did I tell you I met Bob Wischusen in person?
I know what we need to do. I need to bring on some inspiration for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll show Charles Gorman how it's done by bringing in a guy who knows a thing or two about jumping onto a bed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Beast, need you to demonstrate to Charles the art of jumping. Give us a little
Charles, are you prepared? Are you prepared, Charles?
Yes.
I can't hear you, Charles. See, there you go. Okay, now, Jake, let's start it off with the somewhere between the 8-yard line, please.
You want the full play-by-play, Beast?
All right, set motion at the 8-yard line. Fields, prepared, set motion. He got 2
Irving
foot
Fire.
He's on. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna pass. Bring it on. Goes. He's gonna jump it. He's gonna dive it into the end zone. And touchdown.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gabagoo.
All right, that's the type of energy I need. We clear?
Oh my God, Giddy, you are such a dick for saying this. He said in the chat, Charles does nothing because Christopher Reeve after a horseback riding. Come on, man, respect the man. Show some respect for the dead.
The comments made by Gator McCluskey do not represent Jake Asman.
Fine.
Are we going to do this one more time?
Yes.
All right, here we go. We're going to do 2nd and 8 at the 15-yard line. Jets trailing 24-21. Fields out of the gun, takes the snap, drops back, looks right, throws right. He's got Charles Gorman open at the 5. He's in the end zone. That's a Jet touchdown. Gorman jumps into the Lambeau stands and does the Lambeau leap. Yeah. All right. You know what? That might have been improvement. We'll take it.
Oh, that was pretty good. I told you I met Bob Wischusen in person, you know. Did I tell you that or you forgot?
Bob's a friend of the show.
Yeah, I met him in person when I was a sophomore in high school. I walked down to one of my English classes, and I saw Bob Wischusen talking to one of the staff members. In the back of my mind, I was like, oh, crap, it's Bob Wischusen. I go to my classroom. I said, guys, I just saw Bob Wischusen. They go, who's that? You don't know? He's the radio announcer of the Jets and alumni of Union Catholic. So I go to my English teacher. I said, can I go back out? I want to say hello to Bob Wischusen. So I walked out. I went up to Bob Wischusen. I shook his hand, and I told him that me and my father are big fans of his.
Was it a firm handshake, or did you give him a dead fish?
I gave him a dead fish. Of course I gave him a firm handshake.
I'm just making sure, Charles.
And we talked about the season, how wild it was, how great the playoffs were for the most part, and that we can't wait for the upcoming season. That was probably one of the happier times we Jet fans have experienced. Don't you agree, Jake?
Well, they haven't been good since then, so I would agree.
Yeah.
Nate with a super chat. Charles, every time you mention your job coach, you add 1 year of virginity to your life.
Well, at least I'm proud to have my virginity, Nate. At least I don't know release it on stinks.
Charles, you should have just said, that's not what your mom said. Oh.
No, that would have been too easy. Is today game 3?
It is.
All right, I might watch that tonight. I don't care who wins, just want to watch a good game.
Well, I'll tell you what,
I know
Charles.
the Knicks aren't in it, which sucks. You know, they were denied permission to speak with Jason Kidd, you know.
I do know.
Which sucks, but hey, I'm glad they don't have. I hope they get the Miami Heat coach.
That's not happening.
It could, but you never know. It's funny, my behaviorist Teresa, she wants the Knicks to rehire Pat Riley at 80 years old. She still has a huge crush on him.
Well, tell her to calm her freaky down. We're about winning basketball
she's
games.
single. Relax. She's fine.
Is she single?
She's 50+ years old and single.
Ooh, give her my number, all right?
I'll keep that in mind.
Call
Thanks.
me Zach Wilson, baby.
Oh, stop it. Bye, Jake.
That's it? You're done? All right. Thanks, Charles.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Charles Gorman is on some run right now with these calls lately. My God. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the show, I'm giving away a signed item by one of the great receivers of all time, a Jet legend, Ring of Honor member, Pro Football Hall of Famer, Don Maynard. Get the membership to be entered. And perhaps we'll have an added bonus with this next call, because for 10 memberships or $50, you could send him to the hole. Ladies and gentlemen, sound the alarm. 6 Rings is back.
Me. Come on, I'm not a villain, guys. I'm nice.
I don't know, man. You call into a Jet show decked out in Patriot gear on your day off. People might question your motives.
A lot of people call in.
They're mostly Jet fans.
Well, hey. Okay, I called. This time hard work pays off. Because I agree with what your buddy Dave said when he called in. That there's a lot of people, going through disabilities, anxiety, and all that stuff. And, they end up going to work and everything and persevere, So that was a good take. And I grew up with anxiety and all that stuff. I can relate. I had an IEP in English, and now my jobs at the hospital or becoming a head at the school, you have to write tests. It's English, math, essays, and all this other stuff. So I think we hired 9 people out of 50 people based on grades, or 100 people.
You realize that Dave Briga can't stand you, though.
Why?
Because you're a Patriots fan.
That doesn't mean anything, but it doesn't mean anything.
He hates you. He basically said as much on the first show today. 3 Siblings says, F that hospital. No one asked you about your hospital.
Fuck you too, buddy. Come on. I'm not talking bad to people. You see, they started sometimes.
See, not everyone hates you, though. JD says, I like 6 Rings. Peter Castro says 6 Rings is a good kid.
Yeah.
How old are you, 6 Rings?
I'm 33 now. Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Okay. What a bed, by the way, folks.
Sorry, need help around the house, too. But yeah, that's why I called in. But he also said that I'm tough to negotiate and stuff. Listen, I'm not going to beg you for like an authentic helmet or something, Tom Brady helmet. I'm just happy with a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Something small. It's the heart that counts in life, whether it's a t-shirt, something like that, But I did win the raffle, and when you say, I'll send it to you in a year, maybe in a joke, I won fair and square,
You did.
And I know.
You did. But to be fair, I never said when I would send you your item. I just said I will be a man of my word and send you something.
Yeah, okay. But please try to send it, because...
How about 9 months? Is that fair?
Oh, that's a long time.
Is it? No, a long time is 15 years. That's how long it's been since the Jets were last in the playoffs. Something I know because I'm a diehard fan of my team.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's cool. Yeah, whenever you could. But how long would you estimate, though, that you can do it in?
Maybe 8 months.
8 months.
So you got me at 12. I'm down to 8. You're doing a hell of a job negotiating this.
Oh, I'm not a negotiator. That's for those guys that do the stocks and everything.
You're not a stock market guy?
No, I'm not a negotiator.
My guy Beastbreaker is heavy into the stocks. He's big on how the NASCAR is looking.
Oh, I don't. My uncle's big on that stuff.
Yeah.
My uncle and all those guys are big. So I'm happy. Just a t-shirt, something small is even good for me. I don't need
a t-shirt. You want like an AsMANIAC t-shirt?
Oh, like a Patriots t-shirt.
Oh, a Patriots t-shirt. Ugh.
That's okay.
All right. What size t-shirt are you?
Or like a hat or something, a hat. They had some good stuff on NFL.com. They had like a Teddy Bursey jersey for like $80 Canadian.
And they shipped to Canada?
Yeah.
All right, I'll
And
consider it.
whatever you can do. I don't need an authentic Tom Brady. I want to buy one. But how much would those be around, you think, in your experience, like a Tom Brady helmet?
A lot.
Something like that.
Couple thousand.
Really? You think they're that high?
I do. Now, I got some news for you. You ready for this?
Yeah. Oh, someone said $50.
Look, 6 rings.
Yeah.
I'm a capitalist. And at the end of the day, I got to do what the audience wants me to do. So, Chef Kevin, he is sending your ass to the hole, baby. See ya.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
We will see you later, 6 rings. But you have my word. You will be getting a prize from me that is Patriots related. It's going to take maybe up to 8 months. But hey, it was 12 on the first show today. So you're doing pretty well. Pretty soon you might be able to negotiate it down to maybe 7. Who knows? Kevin, you're the best, my man. Everyone subscribe to Chef Kevin's YouTube channel, Fastest Food Reviews. Got some great content with him and his son. Love your shows, Jake. I don't like this dude's vibes. Send Buddy to the hole. We will see you later. By the way, Chef Kevin is in for 10 in our Don Maynard signed photo at the end of the show, and 10 for the Broadway Joe full-sized helmet, Clyde Frazier full-sized helmet, Kevin Mawai signed jersey, and Bart Scott signed jersey. Frank P says, Jake, I tried 6 times to send him to the hole. Every time it failed. WTF. Frank, were you trying to send memberships or were you trying to send a super chat? Because I'm not sure if one is down right now. I mean, super chats are clearly working. Chef Kevin just did it. Thunderlip says, tell Ray Romano he lacks achievement. Well, it's funny. 6 Rings called in and was complimenting Dave Brigga's phone call earlier. He was destroying 6 Rings, though. I love it. Hey, who's better than the great Rick Kent? Rick is gifted 20 channel memberships. Rick, you are the man, my friend. I appreciate you. Let's sound the alarms for Rick. Let's go, baby. 20 from the Rick Kent.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
I got my umbrella out because it's raining memberships. If you didn't get one after this, the algorithm, it just might hate you. And there's nothing I can do about that other than, I don't know, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment a lot, share the link, support the show, and you might get a membership. Right now, it's time to shout out 20 names. Rick, thank you. We'll get you in the raffle for 20. Turn Up the Jets, Wild Stallions 88, Mike Mono, Larry Thomas, Pablo, Captain K Techno, Just for Fun, Billy D 78, Z, Goody, Mark, Steven Hendel, San Juanitos 96, Pete the Change, Marvin ZB, OG Jet Fan Jim, Christian Moriano, The Turtle, Willie D. This channel's great with Alan on vacation. Project Prospect with Dom C. All receiving a channel membership there from Rick. I feel like that could not have been 20 names, but YouTube's telling me it was. Either way, thank you to Rick. And thanks to everyone who's in our raffle. I got to get the names ready to roll for the end of the show. In the meantime, though, we still got plenty of people who want in on the phone lines. So let's say hello to Izzy, who is next up on the show today. Izzy, what's going on?
Yo, what's going on, Jake?
What's up,
hey,
Izzy?
Man, I don't know how to top those 2 calls. That was crazy. That Gorman call was awesome. That had me just in tears, man. That was hilarious.
He's on a heater right now. Dude, he really is.
He's on a roll, man. He's on a roll. But this 6 Rings dude, man, I'm starting to feel a little bad for the dude, honestly, man. Like I don't know. He seems kind of lonely and might need a friend or two. You know what I mean? But you're a Patriots fan calling in on a Jets show. What we supposed
it's amazing.
To do, man?
It's like and the biggest mistake he made, he called in and went after the Jets. If he had just called in and was not disrespectful, I think he'd be fine.
Yeah.
He wouldn't ever be like truly accepted, but I think people wouldn't be hammering him in the comments every time. But his biggest mistake, even though he apologized for it, he called in and said, "Oh, you see that Brady jersey? It's worth more than your entire franchise." And he took the wrong approach.
And has no knowledge on the team except for, you know, Gronk and Tom Brady. I could have answered those questions.
Yeah, he struggled when Mike gave him the quiz on the Patriots. That was bad.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, man. I missed the whole show, man. I just was able to. We just got back to the shop, so I was able to park and call in for a second. Did y'all see Jermaine Johnson? He looks huge, man.
Jacked. I mean, he's ready to go, man, but they're going to be careful with him. He'll be ready for week one. I would just caution everyone when it comes to Jermaine. If he's not producing immediately, that's normal. Like he will get back to being what he was. Just don't expect him to be a Pro Bowl defensive end at week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he'll by mid-year or mid-season, he'll probably be back to his usual self. I'm guessing at least. I mean, he is young, but he must have spent a lot of time working on his upper body, man, because his arms are like huge, man. I can't.
That's all he could do. Think about it. That's all he could do, right?
Just lift weights, man. I mean, what else you gonna do? Condition and everything. Who stood out today?
Fields made some incredible plays. Garrett has been crushing it. Sherwood had a sack. Sounds like Reynolds caught a nice touchdown. They were saying it sounds like it was a pretty even day back and forth with offense, defense.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch the show. You got to do a show at like 7 o'clock so I can call in with the Jake Asman shirt on. Because I'm rocking my tank top right now at work.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm I'm not typically live that late, but on the weekends, if that works better, I usually do a Saturday or a Sunday show. This week will probably be a Saturday show, so call in then.
Yeah, I'll be looking out for it. And when the season starts, I know you'll be doing them little late night shows.
Yeah, when the season starts,
I'll have a shot with you.
I'm never not live. Well, we had so many primetime games last year. That's why all the post-game shows were so late. This year, it will be, after the game, hopefully starting around 4.
Do you think there's any way that the Steelers game could be flexed into primetime?
Not week 1, no.
Not week 1. Damn. Okay, well, I mean, that's good. I'm excited, man. I think we're going to smash Rodgers. So, I don't know. He hasn't had much training with his team. I imagine he wasn't as dedicated to them as he was to us for 2 years. So, I mean, the whole situation sucks. I'm still like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? Going with a younger quarterback who can run a little bit, probably it wasn't a bad idea. You know what I mean? I think Aaron Glenn was onto something. I think he knew what he wanted to do as soon as he got the job.
Well, I just think he wanted nothing to do with Rodgers from the beginning. I don't think Woody did either. I think that was the understanding they came to in the interview process. And I think he wants to be able to build the team his way, install the culture, whatever that means exactly. He wants to do it his way. And I think he looked at Rodgers as a daily reminder of the old guard, and he didn't think he could do that with him there. We'll find out. I mean, Rodgers could have a great year and get the last laugh, or, the Jets could go out there and actually be pretty good. Remember, when they moved off of Favre, no one cared that Favre had a career year with the Vikings at age 40, 41, like how old Rodgers is, because the Jets were in the AFC Championship game. So who cares? Hopefully the Jets have a good year, and we look at it and go, it was the right decision.
And we was actually good that year with Favre. I mean, I think we were 8-3 or something like that, and then he tore his bicep, right?
Correct.
Or something
like
that.
Not the same.
Damn. Y'all made a comment about Jericho Cotchery the other day, and it made me remember because a lot of those moments as a kid watching the Jets, you kind of remember, but you kind of don't. But I remember Cotchery had this one catch where I think he tore his groin running a route across the middle, and Sanchez threw him the ball, and he's hopping around on one leg. Catches the ball for the first down.
Yeah, they won in overtime that game.
Yeah, that when he said Kachi, man, that thing stuck in my head. I was like, man,
Santonio
that was
Holmes,
a good receiver.
He had the slant that he took to the house against Rob Ryan's defense and Rex versus Rob that day.
Oh my God, Santonio Holmes, man! Everybody was talking so much trash that year of high school, and then finally we get to the playoffs, and I could not stop talking trash to everybody, man. I wanted everybody to know I was a Jet fan.
I mean, that was the last time this team was any good, man. It's the 09 and 10 runs were the best.
And I imagine, Rex Ryan kind of, did what I believe Aaron Glenn is trying to replicate, except we have a running quarterback. There's only a difference. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it here, man. I think that if everybody stays healthy, I think we could win 10 games this year.
Is he?
That's a little optimistic, but hey, man, you heard it here first.
I love the optimism, Izzy. Good call. Izzy becoming a regular is a good sign for us. 10 wins, though? I mean, sheesh. Sign me up. I don't see it, but I hope I'm wrong. I thought the team was going to be good last year, and they sucked. I said 12-5. They were 5-12. Right now, I'm at 6 wins, so I'll take 13 and 4. 11-6. I guess that would be 11-6. Yep, take 11-6. I mean, there's surprise teams in the NFL every year. The Jets have not been that team in a while. We're due if you want to play that game. Gator in the house. He says, if you can't make little Joey's birthday party and want to pay your respects, please email me a video to GatorMcCluskeySports@gmail.com. Little Joey's B-Day Spectacular tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Gators YouTube channel. It's going to be incredible, man. I got open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. J7 Truther says, PSA, if you had a renewable membership and canceled, you have to go in the settings and request gifted memberships. YouTube assumes you might reinstate and you won't get a gifted one. Perhaps that's why Dave Brigger can't get one. Ian says, Wes Schweitzer retired from the NFL, and he was the line of defense last year. He was the depth. The depth on the Jets O-line is so much better. Rich says, hit the like. Amen. Envelope, we were 2-1 with Rodgers. They were. I left MetLife after the home opener, and I've never felt that good about the Jets in a decade leaving that building. Unreal. They smoked the Pats that night. Rodgers threw 3 dimes, 3 touchdowns. He was running. Remember, he was moving out as well as he was. First couple of weeks, he looked kind of like a statue in the pocket coming back from the Achilles. That night, he's running all over the place, finding Kyler Conklin for Yak on the run. That was it. That was the apex of the Aaron Rodgers era. We will always have that 9 days between the Thursday night win over New England and then before the Denver game started. I thought they were going to destroy Denver that day. We know what happened. Then I flew out to London and watched Robert Saleh's team trail 17-0 in the first quarter, lose in devastating fashion, and then Robert Saleh never coached for the Jets again. And then the season spiraled. And only the way a Jet debacle can. Jets Worldwide with a tremendous suggestion. Jake, give 6 Rings a gift card to the Orchids of Asia. That's a Patriots-related gift. I like that. Give him the old Robert Kraft special, hey? Oh, my God. All right, open phone lines for those of you who want in. Frank says, Jake, I tried getting memberships and that failed. It has to be on my end, I guess. Frank, I think it might be on your end. Hopefully you figure it out. Appreciate your support as always, my friend. PBM says Rick Kent needs a video where he doesn't fart. I agree. Rick Kent's the man. But he has said to me that he doesn't want a membership video. And I will honor Rick Kent's request. There is the Rick Kent emoji, though. David says we finally got our 2 franchise tackles. We should. I think Olu's going to be really good, and I have confidence in Membu. C Nasty says, I have to run for a few. And the slim chance I win the photo, how do you get a hold of the winner? You got to contact me. Because unfortunately, YouTube won't let me message you. So email me, AsmanJake, C Nasty. Or you could find me on Discord if you're on my Patreon. My email's in the description. So that's how to do it. We'll do the raffle in just a little bit here. Team Curry has called in. He's next. Hey, Team Curry.
What's going on, my brother Jake? How you doing?
What's up, Team Curry? How you been?
Hear me? Oh, I'm good.
There's a bit of an echo, but I hear you.
Oh. Got better?
You sound good. Go ahead.
All right. So, just a quick couple of points. First of all, shout out to the chat and everybody, of course, as Maniac Shiners, everybody, love everybody. Shout out to my Blue Wrench Warriors, Boom, Ace, Gator, everybody out there, of course, sending the love. The only reason I called was we always talk about the wins and the losses, of course, because those matter the most. Don't get me wrong what I'm about to follow up with next. How would you rate the season outside of the wins? What would make it more successful or look as a successful season, outside of the wins? Of course, making the playoffs, that's always the goal. Kill that drought. I just had a couple of points. I wanted to see less penalties, finally make some turnovers, actually make some, and improve the run defense. To me, if those things are, more visible, because last year you could tell the penalties were just driving me nuts each game I watched. So, like I said, outside. So again, the context outside of the wins and the losses, how do you view a successful season for the Jets this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is Fields, right? Do we have a definitive answer on him being our guy long term? I mean, if he's okay, that's not good enough. I got to draft a quarterback if I'm in range and there's someone I like. And there probably will be someone they like. It's a much better QB class. There'll be multiple guys with first-round grades. And a lot of teams have gotten their young quarterback over the last few years, so the Jets will be able to get one.
Right, no, I agree with that.
That to me is the biggest thing, right? I mean, there's other things like, how are they in one-score games? How are they in situational football? They led the NFL in defensive penalties last year. That can't happen if you're well coached, right?
Exactly what I'm saying.
Like, that's the stuff you want to see. But at the end of the day, like, you got to win games, man. Like, I'm not saying the team needs to win 9 or 10 games, but can you win 8? Like, can you go 8-9? Like, 8-9, I don't think is crazy. The Daniel Jones went 9-7-1 a few years ago with Brian Dable. Like, like the schedule's not brutal. There's some difficult games, tough start a little bit, but can this team go out there and can they, be relevant into the last month of the year? Like, are they getting better as the year goes on? Like, there's a lot of things beyond just, hey, win 10 games and make the playoffs you could look at.
Right. I mean, sometimes it's how you get there, not when you get there. You know what I mean? So that's why I was just kind of saying, like, just those few things kind of stuck out. Like, anytime I saw a team run the ball, I'm like, it's going to be 10, 15, possibly 20 yards before someone even touches the running back or quarterback, depending who we're playing. Buffalo. Right. So I just, everyone keeps talking about the wins, and I get that, and I'm a Jets fan, so I got to be honest with myself. I don't see the 10 wins, the 12 wins. I would love it. Don't get me wrong. I'd be rah, rah, rah right behind it. I just wanted to know what were some of the thoughts and feelings that, outside of those things that we're going to be able to be like, you know what? We did go 8-9, but it was a success because AG changed the culture. Less penalties. We have a run defense. No one can just run over us, like we're some kind of, or run through us like some kind of turnstile. We're actually Quinnen, Nandi, anybody, linebacker get in there. And
how about this? Be better against teams in your own division, right? Win a game against Buffalo and surprise us. Go out there and beat New England 2 times if you could do it. Beat have a 3-3 division record. How about that?
Yes, please, because I love wearing my Jets gears out in Buffalo and making people look at me crazy. I love it. I love that attention. A few years ago when they did that punt, Gibson did that punt return, I was king of the town.
Yeah,
because it was the first
Rodgers.
Week.
I know, but we lost Rodgers for the season. I enjoyed that. I honestly, I was with Neil that night. You could tell I enjoyed that win for 10 minutes, and then reality set in. It was awful.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it started off well, and then quickly just exploded, and just whatever the case was. Before I go, so the cream cheese on a hot dog, that's a Seattle thing.
Yeah. They eat grasshoppers in Seattle, too. They do a lot of weird things in Seattle.
They do little weird things in Seattle, but you know what? I've done it. It's not that bad. It's surprisingly not bad, but it's not surprisingly overwhelmingly good. So I just wanted to impart that real quick because, I know y'all guys were going in about the cream cheese, and trust me, I'm more of a hot dog, mustard, and like Sabo said, chili kind of guy myself. And give me the Sabrays and the front and the Nathans all day. But outside of that, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad, Jake.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I do like a Philadelphia roll on sushi, and that's cream cheese with sushi. I don't know. It kind of sounds gross on a hot dog, but who knows?
It's just the sound. Just once you wrap your mouth around it, like, oh, that wasn't bad. I won't order it again. Just like pineapple and ham on a pizza. It was cool the first time, but I won't do it again. Having a Hawaiian pizza.
Interesting.
You know, so I mean, obviously our palates, everyone's palates are different, but just saying, just don't count out the Seattle dog just yet. Don't knock it till you try it.
All right, Team Curry. Maybe I'll try it just for you. All right.
Please do. Let's go.
Show up that jet tat. This team has given you so much pain, yet you still felt like I need to put even more pain on my body and tattoo the Jet logo.
Do it.
Show us the tat. Look at that. Hold on. There you go. Wow. Unreal, man. I give you all the credit.
It hurt too. It hurt like a son of a bitch. But
I'm sure it did.
You know, and what hurt worse is the Knicks losing in the Eastern Conference. I was waiting to get my tattoo. But if the Liberty keep it up, I'll get myself a little, statue of the Liberty somewhere. Got to honor the ladies out there. Salute to them.
I like it. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Curry.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Man, getting a tattoo for the Jets, painful enough what they've done to me. Never. I respect it. But, geez. Hey, shout out to Ricky. He says tickets to the Tampa game have officially been purchased. Let's go, Ricky. Looking forward to finally meeting you in person. I was told there are some group tickets left for those of you who do want to come to Tampa and sit with the Asmaniacs, sit with Jet fans. Join the Patreon for that. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. All the info is on the Discord and on the Patreon. I made a separate post for that. Boomtown writes in, I'm about to have chicken and pasta and a starter salad. Pray for me, Gary. God. Gary's call yesterday was pretty epic. Black Gypsy says, I need to get a Jets tattoo on my knuckles for Alan. It's been great. Alan's apparently on vacation, so he hasn't been in the chat the last few days. Australian Jet fan says, what does Beast think of pineapple on pizza? Man, if there was only a way we could get the answer. Thumbs down?
Trash! That's trash! Rejected. Sorry.
There's your answer. Am I the best? Find me a host that's that responsive to their audience. You got an answer immediately. It's pretty good. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Brian Oglick is on the line. What's up, Brian?
What's up, Jake? Well done on the video, on the editing on the fly. And that was the exact amount of beast for me as well. While I enjoy the dude, I like calmness. So the Favre game in San Francisco was why I called in. Even though I grew up on Long Island, it was my first game, 2008. It took me that long to get to one.
Really? Now you go to like every game.
Well, now I'm an adult and I have a credit card and I make enough money to go to whatever I want to see. So yeah.
They lost that game, right? I vaguely remember that. I don't know why I don't have a great memory of that 08 Favre game.
Because Sean Hill outdueled Favre and like doubled his yards that day. It was sad. I sat there just.
It was later in the season, right? It was after they were already 8-3, correct?
Yeah, December. It was at that point where we were like, they're doing well, but it's going downhill. What's happening? He was hurt at that point, and it didn't look good.
Well, the season spiraled until they had that win late where Sean Ellis had the fumble recovery touchdown against J.P. Lossman on the Bills. That was like the only win during the collapse, and then they ended up losing the last two, and then that was it. They finished 9-7.
I got to see Frank Gore play in his prime. That was nice.
Jet legend.
Absolutely, yeah. Favre, Brett Jet legend. That was the reason for my call. That was it. It was just like, hey, somebody said Favre. I was like, it was great. I was on field too, so I took this shot. I saw them warming up. It's rare that I get to be on field, but every now and then I get a hookup, so
I'll tell you what. Cool for me. If you can make it to MetLife for the Panther game, we'll get you on the field, Brian. All right.
I've thought about it, but I'll be there week 1 for Pitt. And I'll be there for the Cleveland game as well. All right, I'll think about it. I'll message you if I'm doing it.
You change your mind, you let me know. All right.
Right on. See you, dude.
Gentlemen,
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Coach Brian Oglick with us there. Love it. By the way, I meant to show this earlier. So they got like some sort of like World Cup thing going on at MetLife. Any of the soccer fans out there, let me know what's actually going on. Here's what MetLife looks like with grass on the field instead of turf. Can we just leave this for the regular season for the Jets and Giants? Is it so hard to do that? Oh, but it costs money. Great. The Jets and Giants, look at the net worths of their owners. Do it. Players continue to complain about the surface. Why you wouldn't spend the money if you could do it for soccer, if you could do it for the World Cup, why you wouldn't do this for the actual regular season? It makes no sense to me. But here is MetLife with grass on it. Many thought we'd never see the day. All it took was the World Cup. Indy Jets writes in, I'm having gas station pizza and a cigarette. Gary might have a heart attack if you heard that. Australian Jet fan, are you there? I see you're on hold, but your camera's not on, so it's hard to go to you. He is, ladies and gentlemen, AJF. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
You just get out of the shower?
Yeah, I did actually.
How was it?
It was pretty good actually. Except the water went cold really quickly. I don't know why.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun.
You look like Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah, thanks. The best quarterback in that draft, sadly. Who else?
Honestly, no, he's not. Brock Purdy is.
Oh yeah, Mr. Irrelevant. That shows, what an incredible draft to take a quarterback in.
Yep.
What do you think of Jair Alexander? I don't know if it's been a topic before. I haven't watched the past couple of shows. I've been a bit busy. But do you think that he would be a fit lining up next to Sauce? I heard that Brandon Stevens has been kind of getting cooked at minicamp.
I don't see it. I think what's going to happen is they're going to have Izzy Thomas play a bigger role if Steven struggles once the games actually count.
Well, also, what is your actual prediction for the Jets? I know that you want to be hopeful, but I know that you're also sort of just being a realist. What is your actual record prediction?
6 wins right now.
6 wins. And what would you accept as a acceptable first season from Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji?
I mean, I always give the caveat. I care more about how you get to your record than what your record is. For instance, I predicted accurately in 2022 the Jets would go 7-10, but I didn't feel good about how they got there. They were 6-3 and 7-4 and collapsed, right? So your expectations change as the season gets underway and you get more information. With that said, to me, at least 8 wins would be somewhat acceptable. A winning season would be a great season in year 1 for this regime.
I agree. I can't wait for week 1. That's going to be very interesting. How do you think the crowd is going to treat A-Rod that game?
I think he'll get booed. Yeah, I think he's going to get booed. I do. I think people are going to be like, yeah, new regime. We got Glenn, F. Rogers. And, you'll have the drunks doing that. I think there's a large portion of the fan base, though, that if they were there, they would not boo. But there's going to be too many people there that are going to boo. So there'll be boos. That's my expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he deserves the booze, really. Like, it was – I get it didn't really pan out, but I don't think it was his fault at all. Like, I mean, we know what the Jets are like.
Yeah, me personally, if I was there, I would not boo. I understand fans probably will, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it is. And but it'll be an entertaining game, hopefully.
Hopefully they win. I don't care if it's entertaining or not. The Jets just need to win.
Yeah, I wish it was a primetime game, but actually it's probably better for me that it's not a primetime game, so I don't have to get up in the middle of the night.
Well, I'll tell you what. Most of the games will not be in primetime this year, so you'll be able to watch the Jets in the evening, your time.
Let's go, Jets. Thanks for having me on the show.
AJF, I'm glad you called in. Enjoy your Wednesday night. What's left of it?
It's Thursday now. 1:15 in the morning.
When are you calling us from the club?
Maybe Friday night.
All right. We'll see you then.
See ya.
AJF, everybody. All right. Last chance to get in. We got another raffle entry here. Devin gifting 1 channel membership. Devin, thank you very much. We'll get you in for the raffle. It went to, I just had it. Listener Jason C is the recipient of the channel membership there. Last chance to gift if you want in. I'm going to give away the Don Maynard photo at the end of the stream, which is coming up. If you're a Jet fan that tuned in late, Antwan Staley, New York Daily News Jets beat reporter, on with us for the first 40-something minutes of the show, talking all things Jets, recapping today's practice, answering your questions. Check that out if you missed it. Ladies and gentlemen, a 10-spot Anthony L. in the raffle. Let's freaking go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anthony, you're the best, my friend. I'm so glad I got to finally meet you and Roseanne at the draft party a couple months back. Here are the 10 memberships that Anthony just gifted. If you hear your name, thank Anthony. Hulk Smash, Mike, JoJo, David Hoyt, Scott G999, DJ Starkus, Dallas James Santana, Avilas, Ray Perez, and Mark C, all receiving a channel membership. With that said, if you want in on the raffle, now is the time. Make sure we didn't miss any questions here. AG says, I love that the Gorman footage from yesterday already turned into a clip. I texted Gator this morning. I go, I think we need a recap of yesterday's Charles call. He's like, already on it. That's only the first clip I had. AG, if you saw the first show, you already saw another classic Gorman moment that has been now chopped up, edited, and will live on in Jake Asman show history. Were you wearing a Patriots jersey yesterday?
No, that's just bullshit done by Dixon Yass.
Interesting. Matthew wants to know how you think the Patriots will do.
I'm not talking to that piece of shit.
Whoa! You know, that's actually a great point. Robbie Sabo, by the way, he didn't know what a squatty potty was. And I told him.
My parents showed it to my parents. They don't like it.
Have they ever used it themselves?
No, but they don't like the squatty potty.
Well, they haven't tried it. It's scientifically proven.
If you're going to call me a fan of a team that I like a certain player on, then screw you guys. You guys have no proof that I'm an actual Patriots fan.
Nate writes in, what has Charles done today to pursue?
Nate, mind your own fucking business.
Whoa, whoa. Let's be civil on this show. We're a family program. Oh, my God. My son just explained to his friend, this guy calls into shows and takes dumps, and then my dad did it to him.
I don't take dumps on people's shows all the time.
So OJ didn't kill people all the time, but he was labeled as a murderer. You see the point?
Yes. Well, I wanted to tune in to see what Bobby was doing, and I had to take a shit. Well, there's a lot of Indian places.
What do you mean Indian places? Like Indian restaurants?
I'm living in a big Indian community here in Islam.
Gator wants to know if you live on an Indian reservation. Yeah, we talking American Indian or Asian Indian? Are you the head tribal chief? Sean wants to know.
I can't be a head tribal chief if I'm not Indian, so no.
The best. The best. Charles Gorman. Radical Bongos, you're next. What's up, Radical?
Hey, Jake. What's up, man? Good to see you.
How are you? You too, man. Where you been?
Good. I've been good. Just hanging out, watching the show every day. But I just wanna talk about 6 rings and like what's the end game with this guy? Because calling once the troll, I understand, but he's been calling and being in the chat more active than before, and I don't know. I just want to know that because I never thought to myself like, let me go and see like what the Steelers or whatever. I don't know, like let me go see a Bills podcast or something like that. But I mean, it's good for you. It's another listener for you. But I just want to know this guy's end game. But another thing, this is kind of a lame question, but TJ McCrate, the back office hiring. Do you know anything about that and what specifically his role is going to be in the back office with them, with the Jets?
Oh, the guy they hired to the front office you're talking about?
Yeah, from the Eagles. Yeah.
I think he's. I got to look up what his exact title is. I think he's going to be in scouting though, college players.
Scouting, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
I got to see what his exact title.
But yeah,
was.
that was it. That was just.
Appreciate the call, Radical. There's a pretty big delay there. Now Muji's made a couple hires to the front office. The biggest one was Spielman. We knew that when that was announced, like a couple weeks after Muji was hired. But they've added the guy from the Broncos, Peyton, who came over. They've hired a couple new scouts. So, I don't want to say quietly, but because if you're a diehard, you're probably familiar with these names. But, I mean, Thomas Whitty's now the assistant of personnel operations. He's new. Robbie Payton is who I was thinking of, by the way. He's now the co-director of player personnel. He's new. They hired a pro scout, Jelon Norris. He's new. Senior pro scout, that's what TJ McCrate is. So I guess McCrate's, if he's doing pro scouting, that's professional scouting. So that means they scout the opponents. They scout prospective free agents. They have a new college scout on the Southeast. Bird Sherrill got hired there. So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3. Muji's made about 4 new hires to the front office so far, not counting Spielman and not counting Whitty. So we'll count that. That's 6. Phil Savage is now the consultant. He was the interim GM when they fired Douglas. Yeah, I mean, they made about 6 front office hires so far. And coaching staff-wise, all the coaches are new besides Sean Jefferson, who was retained as the wide receiver coach. Mike Westhoff is a senior advisor for training camp, by the way. So we'll see Westhoff around the team this summer, which I love. We will get Mike on the show again. I love Mike Westhoff. The man. Big fella. Jake, we need a 6 rings hole video. You're right. And I texted Gator. We will make that happen, big fella. You're right. Rick Kent, the big fella is a legend. The big fella. No, Rick Kent is the legend. Yes. Rick Kent and big fella spending copious amounts of cash to call each other the legends. Love it. It's funny. I'm on a different sounder page right now, and I have a sound drop here that I haven't played in a while. It's called Charles Chewing. There it is. Man. All right. It's almost time for the raffle, so last chance to be a part of it. Comments, questions, super chats. Radical Bongo says, I'm going to Florida Friday. Had to get the stash out. Thanks for taking my call, Jake. Radical, good call, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. AG, when did Luigi start playing bongos to get a nose ring? He kind of did have a little Luigi to him. Ricky says, Jake, I am part of a huge Indian community. They're called Seminoles, Florida State. I really love Florida State. That we know, Ricky. That we know. Jets Worldwide says, I sent you a Discord DM with a picture of a t-shirt you could send to 6 rings. I'll check it out after the show. It's tough. I can't pull stuff from Discord. It takes too long. Email me, Snowball. That's the best way. All right, last chance here. Then I got to do this raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what we need. I know what you're all thinking. I can read minds. You're like, let's go back to the lair and find out what Beast is up to.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
Beast?
I'm trying to get the cake out of the back. Too tight.
Your back hurts?
Yeah, a little bit. Tomorrow I gotta go get blood work, and then I got a lot of things to do tomorrow.
Ooh. How are we feeling? Tomorrow's little Joey's birthday party.
Yeah, it's good. Everything's smoozy cozy.
How is Joey?
He's doing good. He's right now.
Do you think he's aware that tomorrow's his birthday?
He knows.
Does he?
He knows. Up there. I gotta go take a look for something that I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for a tripod to come in the mail.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's on its way, and then I gotta get ready. I gotta hit. Yep, I gotta.
Sent you that?
Yeah, I'm waiting for a signal. So, and I'm gonna be watching AEW. That starts in about 1 hour and some 45 minutes. I'm gonna be watching TBS, and then gotta hit the hay early because I gotta get up and get out of here by 7 a.m. on the button.
Really?
I'm getting that blood work done first thing in the morning. It's gonna get done. You know why it has to be done? It's for my thyroid.
Hey, what's the dress code for the party tomorrow night?
Hey, wear whatever. Make it look cool. Everything has to be cool. Everything's all handy. You know.
Is it BYOB, by the way?
Bring your own beer.
Yeah.
Really? I don't like having beer around because beer is not my type. I've been away from that for 3 years now. I don't want anything. No beer. I mean, soft drinks are fine, water is fine, but no booze. No booze.
So Pepsi products are okay though.
Yeah, that and Coke is fine, and water is fine, but no booze. No.
What about Gatorade?
Gatorade's fine too, but no booze.
Powerade?
No booze. What?
Powerade?
That's fine too. It's fine, but no booze. I don't want booze because I don't want to go back to the past, and I'm not going to go back to that road again. I'm not doing it again. I'm going to stay the way I'm going to stay.
Now, to be clear, you're saying no boobs, right? But alcohol is allowed?
I said alcohol is booze. No booze.
Boobs?
I said
booze.
Not alcohol. Booze is alcohol.
You're saying boobs, like breasts, like this.
Let's just wrap it up because I gotta go check a look for that tripod, and then I will see you first thing after tomorrow because I gotta get ready to go get my blood work, and on Friday I gotta go take care of one more appointment. I'm gonna get this checked immediately.
Well, Beast, I hope everything goes well with the blood work.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. Remember, keep it up here, not the other way around.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the great Beast Breaker making it clear, no boobs allowed. However, on this show, we welcome all boobs.
Bobby and Charles are squeezing their knockers. Bobby and Charles are squeezing their knockers, taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Taking their shirts off. Bobby and Charles are damn sexy. Damn sexy. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party. Let's Bobby and Charles are hot and sweaty. Hot and sweaty. Let's party. Let's party. Let's party.
All right, I got time for one last call. Then it's raffle time. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by many names. He has many titles. He is not a licensed therapist, and he joins us right now.
He's home, his belly's on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, his belly's on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, his belly's on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super jets. Well, the big fella sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Well, that's a big fella.
Hey, man. switched it up today.
He's back, baby. He's back.
Yeah, I heard Beast talking about tripods. I thought he was talking about me, but I'm sending Beast something in the mail, and I want him to open it on the show. He's really gonna like it. So is there a way I can talk to him real quick?
Big fella, for you, anything. Beast.
Thank you, man.
Buenos tardes there, big fella. ¿Cómo está, amigo?
Hey, man, I'm sending you something over the next couple days. All right. Did you hear that? Okay. I'm sending you something over the next couple days, and I want you to open it on the show.
See.
Okay. I really think you're going to like it.
Send him a turd. Excuse me, Judge Johnny. I think that's pretty disgusting. I think you just basically sent your one-way ticket out the door. Bye-bye.
But yeah, I'm sending it to you. It should be there in a couple days once I get the packaging and stuff like that. So,
Roseanne says it might be guinea pig skin.
Hey,
I
Roseanne, do not go there. Don't even start.
Yeah, Roseanne, don't start. You got some nerve.
Yeah, but
we're not gonna have that here. This is a family show, not another nonsense. We're not gonna have here.
Amen.
And I'm looking forward to little Joey's birthday tomorrow. It should be good.
Gracias.
Good. And let me tell you something. When we first started talking, I told you we were gonna be friends, bro. And you kept denying it. You were always like, nah, fuck that guy. So no. You see what time does? It brought us together, man. Wrestling and metal.
Everything has like the $1 Million Man once said, everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man.
I didn't see shit, bro. So, but
look, as they say in the real world, it's as they all say, we all gotta rock and roll.
All right, rock and roll. Jake.
Rejected. Sorry.
So I caught a little bit of the show earlier. I was in the pool.
You were in the pool?
Yeah, I was in the pool.
Oh, you got to give us a call from the pool.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, no one wants to see this, bro. So
I disagree.
So did Antwan say how Membu looked today?
He said McDonald got him on a couple reps from what he saw, but he's been impressed overall.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Looking forward to the season, bro. I mean, I think the O-line's going to be all right. I mean, we can't expect Membu to be like an all-pro right away, but by mid-season, we should have a solid unit,
Belly's in the pool, says New Q, by the way.
Belly's in the pool. The whole body's in the pool.
That's true.
But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I'm sending that thing to Beast. It should be in a couple days. Gator knows what it is. And we'll go from there.
That's exciting. I mean, a gift from the big fella, he always comes through. I mean, you should see this Hennessy bottle that I was all excited to drink when the Jets were going to win the AFC East this year.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, that was delusions of grandeur. But yeah, so Gator knows what it is. I think Beast will be excited when he opens it. So, I think it'd make good content for you. So
love it.
Anyway, have a good day, man, and great show. Talk to you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella.
You get the fuck out.
Hold on, I'm having tech issues here. Anytime I got to pull up the Wheel of Champions from the raffle, my computer freezes a little bit. I think I'm on right now. If I'm not, tell me in the chat. On that note, I think it's time for a raffle. So, here's how this works. First, we play this.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Then I pull up the raffle wheel, the Wheel of Champions, as it's known as. Then I say, where's my music? And then the music starts playing. And now we spin the wheel and find out who's going to win a Don Maynard autographed photo. If you win, email me your actual name and the address where to send it, and I will get it sent out for you this week. With that said, thank you to everyone who sent in a super chat. You're in the weekly raffle on Friday. That raffle has the full-sized Broadway Joe helmet and all the other prizes. Here we go. Best listeners in sports. Going to try and do a lot of these in June and July because only the diehards are watching a Jet show during these lean months. So thank you guys. And here we go. The winner is listener Bo C. Bo C, congratulations. I think Bo won the Fields jersey yesterday, and now he's coming home with a Don Maynard framed photo, signed framed photo. Bo, I got your info, so I know where I'm sending this. Thank you to everyone who participated. Congrats again to Bo, well-deserved. True Jet fan. That's my favorite when real diehards win these prizes because they're awesome. So thank you to everyone. Early start tomorrow. I have an ESPN event at the Mets game in the morning. Maybe some of the AsManiacs will be at this. It's with DiPietro and Rothenberg. So I'm going to Citi Field early, but I am doing a show in the morning and intend to do one in the late afternoon when I'm back from the game. So tomorrow I'm going live with O'Leary in his weekly spot at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. So have the coffee cup ready as you tune into the show tomorrow morning with Matt and I. I'm looking forward to that. Again, congrats to Bo. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. Thank you to Antwan Staley for, of course, his contributions and joining us and breaking down what he saw at minicamp. Join the Patreon if you haven't. You have till Friday to get Jets-Panthers, October 19th tickets to sit with the Asmaniacs in Section 129. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Go Jets.
Little your way. It's your birthday. Party all day with your daddy. Beach breaker. He's a good guy. Loves you. Takes care of you. Fuck Bobby Beasley. He wants to eat little Joey. Fuck Bobby Beasley. He wants to eat little Joey.
Join us on Gator Sports for live coverage of Little Joey's birthday party on Thursday, June 12th at 7 p.m. That's live on Gator Jets, hosted by the idiot Gator McCluskey and his special guest, Beastbreaker 666. Hope you'll join us for this festive and exciting celebration of life.
We are mama way.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.